We're in Chicago.
Are they already in Chicago?
The one and only Leo Biaz. Hey, Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did
spider web
was it
tights.
Obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was having fun.
Wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
Hello, welcome to Chef Tobias Cooks, here where we have kitchen conversations with professional chefs, cooks, home cooks, bakers, and people that just can't cook. So join us every week for our kitchen conversations and learn a thing or two. And I don't burn nothing in my kitchen.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
KXVS on 92.1 coming soon. KXVS.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, presents the premiere edition of True Talk with Christina Kimball.
My name is Christina Kimball, and I am the branch manager at Edge Home Finance Corporation, located right here in downtown Stockton, California, and also for Volant Real Estate. And I'm going to read some disclaimers so we can get all the legal stuff out of the way. Edge Home Finance Corporation, NMLS number 891464. Edge Home Finance supports equal housing opportunity, and my NMLS ID is 1484144. Loans are made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law license, and you can learn more, get more information at nmlsconsumeraccess.org. My real estate license is under Volant Real Estate, and that is through the California Bureau of Real Estate, license number 019-12461. I think I got it all. And my guest today for our premiere show, True Talk with Christina, is Roxanna Seward, who also works with me at Edge Home Finance Corporation. And Roxanna, if you would like to provide your license number so we can get this out of the way.
Originator with Edge Home Finance, license number 285845.
Nice. Now we can get on with the show. So my name is Christina Kimball, and this is True Talk with Christina. We're going to be coming to you weekly here on the Voice of Stockton, KXVS, live in the studio, and I'll have different guests each week. Our focus is on mortgages, real estate, finance, helping you prepare to own a home, taking care of that home, and really making your money work for you. So super excited. We're going to have phenomenal guests every week. Our show will go live at 1:05 p.m. right here on KXVS. I don't know how you're watching us right now, but you can find us on Facebook, live on YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. So let's get into the show. I'm going to share a little bit about myself, how we got started, how we ended up here, and then Roxanna is going to share about herself as well. So thank you for joining us. Again, my name is Christina Kimball. I was born here in Stockton, lived here for the first few years of my life, and then we moved away, and I came back in 2011 after marrying my husband. I love technology and the internet and all that, and that is where I met my husband, online, christianmingle.com. So that was pretty cool. Brought me back to my hometown, where when I returned, I obtained my real estate license, worked in the real estate industry for a few years, and then got my loan origination license so that I could help people with the financial side. And now started Volent Real Estate, and merging the two together is pretty exciting. It's fun to get to help people in incredible ways. And then I learned about the KXVS. I was watching some other people with their shows and just providing good value to the community. And I met with Governor Don. Met with him. He's here, so you may hear. Yeah, you
in
may
the shadows.
Yeah, you may hear his voice from time to time. You may see him reach in and adjust something. We're gonna have a good time here. We're gonna keep it real and have some fun. Share some good information that hopefully you can take and apply and do something with it. If nothing else, you'll learn something that maybe it'll help you avoid some mistakes. It's called True Talk with Christina. There's so much misinformation out there when it comes to finances, when it comes to home loans, when it comes to purchasing a home or selling a home. And we are here to bust those myths, get the truth to you so you can make the best decisions. And Roxanna and I today, we're gonna talk about some things that sometimes people do that are not beneficial. You think you're doing the right thing and it ends up it's the wrong thing. So we're gonna get the truth to you so that we can get more homeowners here, not just here in the Valley, but what you learn, what you pass on to your sphere of influence, you pass on to your children, to your friends, your neighbors, and we just make everything better starting with one person. So that's just, I'll keep my background to a minimum. And then Roxanna, would you like to share how you got started? And you've always been in Stockton, haven't you?
Born and raised in Stockton, yep. I love Stockton, all things Stockton. Entered the real estate business almost 20 years ago now. So I've kind of been in the aspect of all types of lending, from your small retail finance and then just continued to grow into mortgage. Started with hard money lending or kind of subprime lending, and worked through that for about 15, 16 years. Became partner in a company and rode that out during the highs and lows of the mortgage industry. But real estate's always been a passion of mine, and it's not a career I ever wanted to give up on. So we just kept working through the highs and lows of it. And about 2 years ago, the opportunity presented itself to come back into the industry, and I took advantage of it. So here I am back doing what I love and doing what I can to connect with everybody and here in the Central Valley, and help them to become homeowners as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's when did we meet? Just over a year ago now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A little over a year ago.
I think it was about February of 2017. We had the opportunity and crossed paths at a networking event, and just kind of had the same vision and shared the same ideas and likes and wants for the people that we work with. So we've been going at it ever since.
Yeah, we have, and we've been having fun. And what would you say to people to explain? So you mentioned we have the same vision and things like that. What is your approach to working with your clients when you're helping them with the financial side of it in purchasing a home or preparing to purchase a home?
One of the biggest things that I see is a lot of clients, the first thing they say is, oh, I don't think I'm ready to buy, or I can't buy yet. And I tell everybody, do not eliminate yourself from the situation until you've talked to somebody. There are so many programs out there and so many opportunities. And what I do especially is I like to take the time and consult with them, not just become a business partner for them or somebody working for them, but working with them to overcome a situation that they have or that they feel may be setting them back, holding them back from taking that step. Everybody's dream is to become a homeowner, and we start out with the big mansion, and we want that because that's what we see. It's put in our face. It's on television. And so by consulting with somebody and really kind of weighing out your wants versus your needs and coming back down to reality and groping what you're really able to afford and setting your sights on that, working towards that, clearing up some things that might set you back a little bit, and not eliminate yourself is the biggest thing. It might not be right now, but it will be. And just working with them towards that, helping them overcome the fear of it.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of fear around home ownership. There's definitely a lot of misinformation and unfortunately false expectations. We have people coming to us who think they can do one thing and they absolutely cannot. However, we're solution finders, right? That
problem
is
solvers.
Problem solvers, solution finders. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, I think it was. And I think he said he bought his first home, and don't quote me on the exact amount, but it was something like $61,000 when he purchased his first home. And that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
At that time, it was a lot of money. And so he put, I think he said 25% down, which is a significant amount. Even today, that would be a significant amount of that dollar amount. And it's, home ownership's changed. The home buying process has changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
You hear stories about people. I bought a home for $1. I bought a home with zero money down, no money. It cost me nothing. And I'm not saying you can, so that I don't have to give all different kinds of disclaimers and things.
The misconception is there.
Yeah, the misconception's there that people can buy a home with really no money. There are situations where things happen, like maybe a family member gives them money, so they really are buying a home with no money of their own. That's possible if somebody's going to give you all of the money.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's not always most of the time. It's not the case that someone's just going to hand you, here's $50,000, go buy a home, have fun. But people hear those stories and then they think that, well, if they did it, I can do it. But one of the things we know is that everybody's story is unique.
Everybody's story is different. And everybody, when they start first talking about becoming a homeowner, or that's the process they're going to take, your best friend, your mom, your sister becomes your professional. So they start giving out the advice, and based on their situation or based on the time frame, as you mentioned, when they were buying. And again, their job situation is different, their income is different. They don't know, maybe you're not sharing credit. Maybe you're not sharing your full story with them, and maybe they're not sharing their full story with you. So again, don't compare yourself to somebody else. Your home will not be their home. And just look at your unique situation and let us help you through that.
I promise we are not Debbie Downers. I just realized we kind of sound like that.
The highs and lows that you have to go through to become a homeowner.
Yeah, and we want to share some of those things today on what you can do, how you can prepare to buy a home the right way, the truth, not based on anybody else's situation, but your own. A lot of people think they can't buy, or they think because they're paying so much money in rent that they can only afford this much, or vice versa. I mean, there are so many variables to the home buying process. So we'll talk about some of those and share some stories that we have, some that maybe didn't turn out so well, and some that just turned out an amazing way. But before we do that, I do want to share a few statistics for real estate right now, so that you know what's going on in the local market, specifically in Stockton. So you may have heard it's a seller's market. What does that mean? I will let you know. It's based on the months of inventory. And inventory, I'm going to do my best to not talk in real estate ease or mortgagese, and try to talk in just everyday language, true talk, so that there aren't misconceptions, so that it makes sense. So when it's a seller's a seller's market, what that means is that the sellers may have a little more negotiating power because there aren't as many homes for sale on the market. So when you hear people talk about inventory, they're talking about the number of homes currently for sale. And if the fewer homes there are, and if there's a lot of buyers out looking, a lot of demand, then the sellers have the advantage, right? So that makes it a seller's market. When there are 3 months or less of inventory, it's a seller's market. Again, that's 3 months worth of homes for sale. And then it's a buyer's market when there are 6 months or more of homes for sale. So they're sitting on the market longer. There aren't as many buyers. So then there's sellers, hey, buy my home, buy my home.
Pick me.
And pick me. Ooh, pick me. And so they're trying to fight for the buyers. Well, now the buyers have the upper hand. So that's the difference in the two types of markets, the buyer's market and the seller's market. So the numbers we have right now are from April. We don't have the statistics yet for May. And this information is obtained from, it's based on data from Metrolist MLS. That's the MLS that we are a part of. And the MLS is where agents go to list their homes for sale. So that means I've met with a Let's call her Heidi Homeowner. I've met with her and she wants to sell her home. So we write up a contract, and then I go to my computer when she's ready for it to go live on the market for sale, and we enter the data about the home into this computer system called the MLS. And once it's in there, that's how it gets syndicated out everywhere on those other websites, which I won't mention. We won't get into that today. You want to go to your professional real estate agent's website to search for homes for sale, not the big ones out there. There's some misinformation. And again, we're about true talk, so get with your professional to find out where you search for homes. Definitely don't rely on those the big websites, because we want you to get the best information out there. So right now in Stockton, as of 10:38 this morning, so these are fresh numbers, fresh statistics.
Did your date down this morning?
Yeah. So in Stockton, we currently have 509 single-family resident homes for sale. And I pulled some other nearby cities so that you could kind of, well, what does that mean? That kind of sounds like a lot of homes. So I pulled some other numbers from other cities so you can kind of get a comparison. So Lodi has 148 homes for sale, Lathrop 28, Manteca 101, and Tracy 91. So it's
Go Stockton.
Go Stockton. Yeah. So those numbers, they're not huge. Nobody has more than 2 months of inventory. Again, that's 2 months worth of homes for sale. So that means when you match the number of the homes that are selling in a month, that in 2 months, if no other homes came up for sale, we'd be out of homes for sale. So that's where you hear 2 months of inventory. What that means is 2 months, no more homes, nobody selling their home, we'd be out of homes to sell. Which that wouldn't be good. No. So those are the numbers for the different cities, ours, and then the surrounding ones, what it looks like. I'm not going to go into some of these other statistics because I kind of want to keep it simple today. I'm kind of just doing an introduction and getting some good information out there. What you'll see is why you want to work with a solid professional real estate agent is that they will keep an eye on the market. They'll keep an eye on whether, if they're selling your home, for example, if they're putting it on the market, how long are homes sitting on the market for sale? Because even though it's a seller's market, homes are sitting for a little while. And what does that tell us? That tells us, and what the statistics confirm it, that they're listed this high. Not everybody can see my hands, but if you're listening, but they're listed kind of high, but they're selling lower than what they're listed at. And so they're sitting for a while because they're overpriced, because everybody thinks, oh, homes are, home values, yes, they are increasing.
They are up. They are up.
They are up. As an example, I want to make sure I quote exact statistics because, this is the truth. I want to make sure I have, there was a number, let me find the page where I had that. So just an example for months of inventory, because some people are afraid to buy right now because they think there aren't enough homes for sale. But get this, and this is statistics for Stockton. April 2018, the months of inventory based on closed sales was two months, which I said previously. That increased by 42.1% compared to last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and compared to last month, it's up 43.1%.
It's a hot market.
Yeah, so there are more homes for sale than there were a year ago. People were buying a year ago. Right. They've backed off a little bit right now, thinking they can't buy. However, there is more inventory now than there was a year ago, and I wanted to make sure we got that information out there because, if you want to buy, yeah, you definitely want to get off the fence because rates have increased a little bit.
Rates have increased, yes.
They've increased. There's more inventory. We may see 1 or 2 more rate adjustments this year for interest rates, which means what you buy now will have a higher payment. What you buy then would have a higher payment than if you bought now, for example. That's what the rate does. It's going to affect your monthly payment and how much house you can afford.
Correct.
So it's it's a good market out there. If you want to sell, definitely it's a seller's market. We need more homes to sell because we've got more buyers than we do have homes for sale.
Correct.
And then we need people to go ahead and keep buying and make your money work for you, as opposed to with rent, you don't get anything back from that. I want to share a personal example on that, actually. So my husband and I had bought a home a few years ago. We sold it. We actually thought we were going to move out of state. And we thought, no, we're going to stay here. And so we ended up buying another home. So there was a year we weren't able to take any deductions on our taxes for what we paid toward the house for the, my mind's going blank. What do you deduct on your taxes from having a house?
Tax write-off.
Yeah, your tax
Your
write-offs from
interest.
owing, your interest and things like that. So this year, we were able to, okay, now we've got these tax benefits of owning. That's one of the benefits of owning a home. And before I entered that into the tax software, we were going to owe, how much were we going to owe? Like $2,000 or $3,000. And then I put in our credits and things like that for owning a home. And then we got a refund. Who likes refunds?
Winning.
Raise your hand. Yeah.
Winning.
Yeah, we like refunds. How about you? Go.
All the time.
All the time. Okay, just checking. Just checking. Yeah, refunds. So that is a huge benefit when people look at buying a home. It's not just the monthly payment, it's that help you're going to get on your taxes.
Right.
So you definitely want to seek a tax advice from a tax professional in regards to that. How is this going to affect
What you can write off, what you can claim,
Yeah, and the
save all
bottom
your
line.
receipts.
Yeah, save those receipts. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And
You're going to end up paying somebody's mortgage, whether it's through rent or through your own. So why not make your money work for you in more ways than one?
Exactly. So I shared this story with you earlier when I was on the way to the office this morning, and some of the lights were out of service downtown. So you have to be extra careful when you're driving, because not everybody's paying attention, and people don't know when to go all the time, and so it gets a little confusing. Once I got through that, the light was green at the next intersection. Cool, I can get there. I'm driving, I'm happy. And then all of a sudden, this guy on a skateboard didn't look right, didn't look left. He just went right in front of me. I had the green light, and he crossed against a red, so I could have hit him if I wasn't paying attention. And then there was a guy opposite me who was going to turn left in front of me, and as soon as the skateboard guy went through, I kept driving. Well, if he hadn't paid attention, he would have hit me too. It could have been a big, horrific mess. And I just thought, what chaos when people don't know what to do. And I thought, we're coming in here today to do the first.
One person's action is just a domino effect.
It is.
And,
It's a domino effect, and it's choices. And that's why we do True Talk. That is why we consult with our clients the way we do, is to get them out of that chaos of not knowing. And maybe they think they're taking the right action, and they are not. They're taking actions that actually harm their ability to purchase a home, or move to an area that they want to move to downsize, to upsize, to move up. All these different things. They're taking these actions in chaos. Where we come in as professionals, let's bring some order. Let's get you on a right path to taking these steps. So can you share, we're going to, obviously confidentiality is of utmost importance, without using any names or anything, and maybe it's combining a few different stories of clients and situations and scenarios. What's a good one where you've seen they've come out of that chaos and they've taken the right steps to come out of that chaos and get on the right path to home ownership?
Sure. I have a lead that was sent to me by a real estate agent back in, I think, September, October. And client comes to us, we take his application, we're processing the file, and there was some credit deferred things that needed to be addressed, and not too bad, but just to boost the credit score a little bit better, because a lot of times clients come to us thinking that their credit score determines the loan amount that they're going to get. I've got a 700 credit score, I can qualify for anything. Well, your credit score determines your interest rate you're going to get. The income that you make determines the loan amount, obviously, your ability to pay that back. So the client really wanted to just get his credit score up a little bit higher and work on a lot of things at one time. So I connected him with a credit repair professionals, and he came back to me about 30 days later, and he says, I want to save as much money as I can. I don't want to invest money into something else that I believe I can do myself with your help. So long story short, we go into repairing things and looking at his credit bureau, and to this day, we are on our last string of things that we're clearing up, from just old things that were oversight. Some of them were taxes, student loans, just little things here and there. You know, life happens to everybody, and just one little thing out of sight, out of mind can be detrimental to a lot of different aspects in your future. So we've been working since about October on getting this taken care of, and we are in the home stretch now. And it's just been such a joy to work with him and the journey that he's taking for his family. And every email, you can see the smile in the words that he's typing and how proud he is of what he's done as a father, as a husband, and just trying to guide his family in the right direction. It's just been really good to work with him on that aspect and know that he did it himself. He didn't have to take funds away that he was trying to allocate towards the purchase of his home. He's a veteran, so that's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of personal to me. So it's been a joy to work with him as well. And it's just been a nice journey to be able to take that with him, and the fact that he asked for help to be able to do that, that's one that I will always hold with me. So we're in the home stretch now, and hopefully by July or August we'll be able to turn him back over to the agent and find that home that he's been waiting for.
Yeah.
So it was really good, and I'm glad that his temporary moment of frustration weighed by, and he took the next steps to go and take care of it. So that's been one of my favorite stories thus far in the last 9 months.
Yeah, it's so nice to see people taking the steps that are laid out, and it gets them out of the chaos and on a straight path. It might be a little bumpy, you know, taking care of the things, but to get in that straight path that really is going to lead to where you want to go.
Right. And with the lender that we're working at, the underwriters were able to give us conditions based on the file now, even without an address. And so that was really good because we had them laid out for us, gave him his little to-do list, and he's just been checking them off one at a time. And as things come up in between time, we're staying current on his income, we're staying current on his bank statements, so that when that final condition comes through, we are ready to go. So it's really exciting.
And for those who don't know, what are conditions?
Conditions are things that once your loan you've applied for your loan, your application, it's sent to an underwriter. The underwriter at that time reviews everything that I've collected on your behalf to submit for the loan. So they look through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Bank statements, you know, they check to see what deposits are there, where they're coming from, if it matches your check stubs. So they will issue conditions on your loan. I need a current bank statement or an letter of explanation if they see multiple addresses on your credit bureau, job changes from one career path to another, or if you have a lot of student loans, you were in school for this career path, but now you're employed on a different one. So there's a lot of different things, and it depends on the program that you're in, whether it's a government loan or a conventional loan, just different things like that a lender will put out there, an underwriter will put for us, and things that we need to collect on that behalf.
That's good. I just thought of the different types of loans and things like that, and I think of one of the things that are misinformation out there, that it's a source of confusion when people hear 100% loans. I can say that without having to have extra disclaimers. So yeah, so I'm going to go with the 100% loan scenario, such as a VA loan, a USDA loan. They're 100% financing. So when people hear that, they think, oh, 100% financing, that means it's all in the loan. What's the truth?
It is not. 100% financing is you get the 100% of the loan that you're purchasing. So if you're purchasing a home, $200,000, you're getting 100% of that financed. However, on top of that, our cost to the loan, your real estate agent can negotiate on your behalf to have the seller credit and contribute to closing cost, different things like that. You can have family members, as you mentioned earlier, do gift of equity or help towards down payments, you know, depending if you're buying from a family member. So there's a lot of different sources of how you can get additional funds contributed towards your loan on top of that 100% financing to assist with the closing cost. Closing cost, that involves an appraisal fee. That's something that you're going to have done to prove the value of that home is what you're purchasing it for. You're going to need a deposit when you finally come to a solid negotiation between you and your seller, that you put a deposit in escrow that starts the whole process, that shows your intent, kind of like a layaway. You know, you give that payment to them, and so that needs to be in your account. It needs to be sourced. The underwriters will ask for copies of that. They want to see where it's been wired into the bank, or that it's been certified funds. So that's all stuff that is considered closing costs. So technically you do have to have access to funds when you begin the home buying process. There's no such thing as you're not going to have to come out of pocket with a penny, because you do. A lot of times maybe the appraisal fee, there's a special going around where a lender will refund that at the end of the loan closing, but initially it's charged to your debit card, and you're required to pay for that. So there's different ways to create the loan and structure it to your specific needs and ability to repay, but there's no way to not come in with anything or purchase a home and get a loan advancing you money out to consolidate a bunch of other debt afterwards. You have to be in a position to purchase and qualify your debt ratio, your income versus your outgoing at the time that you're buying the home.
Yeah, we the upfront costs. And when you work with your real estate agent, if they're a professional real estate agent, not just they have their license, but they really work in integrity and to make sure you're advised of information before you go into purchase, so you're not caught off guard. There are upfront costs such as inspections and so Roxanna mentioned that you do have some money. Okay, somebody else could pay for those things, but there are monies that need to be available up front to use, whether it's your money or dad's money or mom's money or grandpa's money or grandma's money, or down payment assistance when it comes to the actual loan part can help with the closing costs as well. Upfront costs are going to be your inspections, the deposit that Roxanna mentioned. Mm-hmm. So inspections, a home inspection, very, very important. And we're going to have a home inspector on one of our upcoming shows, as well as a pest inspector. That way you can get good information from them, you as in our show audience. But the upfront cost, home inspection, so it's a couple $100 right there. Pest inspections around $100. If you have a pool or chimney, anything special with the property, roof inspection, mm-hmm. Those things typically have a fee associated with them, and that's not rolled into the loan. Right. Those are funds you would need up front from some source. The deposit, depending on the type of home you're purchasing, the type of loan program, sometimes you can put a lower deposit, but the deposit itself could easily be $3,000 to $5,000. It could be $10,000. It could be $20,000, depending on the amount of the home you're purchasing. So those are upfront costs that aren't tied into the loan. Once your offer to purchase a home is accepted, that check needs to go to the title company, and it's a deposit. It's guaranteeing, saying, hey, I want this home. You have outs. You have things in the contract that allow you to cancel the contract per certain things. However, that's what that's saying. I'm serious. I want this home. Right. Here's my deposit to prove that to you. So those are some of the upfront costs, and we want to make sure people know that you say, oh, I've saved $1,000 to purchase a home, or I have $500. Well, just your inspections alone could take that money. Because upfront, you need your inspections. You need your deposit and the money for the appraisal fee. Mm-hmm. So those are different things you want to talk to the professional about. What am I really looking at? But don't get discouraged, because it's better to know, okay, that's at the end of your path, right? We get you on that right path, right? The straight path, instead of all the chaotic, crazy stuff like you're at an amusement park. Get on that straight path. Here's the end goal. Okay, this is what you need to do. It's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I always think that's kind of a weird saying. It's just
especially since I don't like elephant.
I know. Why would I want to eat an elephant? Have you eaten an elephant?
I'm a vegetarian. That is the same way I would eat a watermelon. I could eat the whole thing, but I got to eat it one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's right. It's one step at a time. It's it's easy to get overwhelmed, but when you have that plan, kind of a checklist, it's easier.
And upon your initial interview, I guess you could say, with your client, and you're going through the process and you're taking the application, the fee sheet is something that should be discussed. It's a tentative, just estimated fees, and this is kind of what you're looking at. You know, of course, it's going to change dependent upon your situation and whether you've negotiated different things, but you should have an idea pretty close to your very first application.
Yeah, definitely. That's why, who is the first person you meet with? Is it the real estate agent or is it the loan officer when you're thinking about buying a home?
Oh, it's definitely got to be the loan officer. Yeah, you have to know what your ability is before you fall in love with something outside of your price range. That's the first thing. And know what direction to take. So you need to meet with them, get your credit in a situation if it's not already there so that you can purchase. Know your dollar amounts, know your comfort level. That's the biggest thing. Just because you may qualify for a $300,000 home and you can afford that payment, that doesn't mean that's what you want your lifestyle to be. You may have children who are involved in sports and activities, and we know those things can run up. So you want to make sure that the payment you're paying is something you're comfortable with, not just something that you're qualified for. So that's something to look at as well. And then once you've made that, you've got all of those worked out, that's when we turn you over to a professional real estate agent who finds the homes in that price range for you. Let them do the work on your behalf.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely got to get the financial part in order. Let's talk. We did it. We're filling the time slot.
Right.
Before we go, let's talk about some do's. What should people do? We'll just kind of bounce back and forth. What's the first thing you think of? What should people do if they're thinking about buying a home, whether they own a home already and they're going to sell it and they want to buy another one, or they've never purchased before? And okay, what are a couple things I need to do right now?
First thing you need to do is call Roxanna at Edge Home Finance and get your application submitted. But the first thing is, don't think, well, maybe I should buy my car first and then buy a home afterwards. We all know that buying a home and buying a car go hand in hand. I don't know why, but it happens. Sometimes the car comes first, sometimes the house comes first.
Yeah.
But there's times when that inquiry on that new vehicles cost your credit 20 to 40 points, when you go out to
and purchase it.
Yeah, when you go somewhere. So if you are really committed and you want to buy and you're looking, that thought has just even came in your mind, you've already started that process, whether you know it or not. Push that a little bit more. Halt anything that you're doing. Contact a lending professional. Find out, what are the steps I need to do. Don't always pay off all of your credit, because sometimes that hurts your credit score as well. You need to have that revolving line. There's many different ways that credit report, that credit score evolves. So don't just make a drastic change that I need to pay off all of my debt, then I can buy a house, because
Wait, we're
that
talking
debt.
do's, not don'ts.
Yeah, no.
You went backwards.
Well, it all goes together at the end.
It does.
So yeah, do contact somebody to find out what you should do regarding credit, regarding savings, job changes, all of those things. So contacting the lending professional would be the first thing to do.
Yeah. And along those lines, I say, do think about what you really, really want. When you said that about the car payment, I think about so many people we've spoken to. Yes, I want to purchase a home, and they just purchased a car with a payment of $600 a month. I've seen, what's the highest I've seen? I think it's $950 a month. These huge car payments, and now they can't purchase a home. Because when we look at the debt to income ratio, you'll hear that phrase, you'll hear DTI. We're looking at what is your debt compared to your income, and we come up with a percentage point. And if that percentage is too high, it can kick you out of purchasing a home, because we can't find someone to finance that and take that risk. Because that higher that percentage, the higher the risk in lending funds to you. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars typically when purchasing a home. So
just the smallest payment on a credit card can take you to an extreme DTI increase. So
it's amazing. So don't think, oh, I have a lot of debt, I can't buy a home. No, talk with a professional and see what the numbers really are. And you mentioned about paying off debts. Credit scores they have percentages for different things. How long you've had that credit card, how long you've had a line of credit. And if you pay that off and you close it, well, now you don't have that history anymore on your credit report, and it can hurt your score. So you think you're doing a good thing by paying something completely off or closing it, and it actually hurts your score. I like to tell people, keep your balance, like on credit cards, revolving things, around 10%. From what I've seen, when you get too far below that, it can actually lower your score. But charge enough on your card, for example, credit card. And when I say 10%, I mean 10% of the limit. So if your credit card limit is $100, you want to keep a balance each month around $10. If you pay it off fully, that can actually lower your score. But if you keep it there, because here's what they're thinking, about the logic behind that, because logically you'd think, oh, they pay it off, that's better, right? But logically, I mean, when they're looking at it, this is the logic behind it, is that if you have a little bit of a balance and you're not running it up to the limit, because that hurts your score as well. The more you use, the less you use, but you still use it, like, okay, this person knows how to manage their finances, financial responsibility, and that helps the credit score. So what you think is paying it off is going to be great, but the truth is, leave a little balance, and it shows that you can manage it. It's self-control, self-management. Those things, you're less of a risk when they see he or she can handle their money and not get crazy with the debt.
The credit score is derived from so many different aspects on credit. It's not just, oh, I've got a good credit card, I pay it on time. It's whether it's a revolving or an installment loan, such as a vehicle, different things like that. The length of the history of the credit report. So a lot of different things accumulated create that score. Yeah, and there are some people who are financial advisors, some people that I've followed, and they're like, don't get credit. However, if you're going to purchase a home, unless you have a few $100,000 at your disposal, you will be using credit. You can get credit smartly. You can get a 15-year loan so that you can pay it off sooner instead of waiting 30 years. You're going to save yourself on interest rates. You're going to save yourself on the overall ultimate cost of that home. So you will need some credit. What is something someone can do to establish credit? A lot of times they can go to their local bank or credit union. They can do a secured credit card to where it's their funds that are backing the card. That way, if something ever happened, it could still be paid off. However, their limit is for the amount that they're wanting to put up as far as the security, and they make a small payment each month on that. That's one way. A lot of times they can establish through private jewelers, different places like that. They can apply for credit, and after so many months, 3 to 6 months, then it'll start reporting on the credit bureau. So there's a lot of little things that can be done to establish it.
Yeah, and I want to point out on that, because we're out of time, is that when you're getting these cards or lines of credit, like from a jeweler, ask them, what credit bureaus do they report to?
Absolutely.
Because as lenders, we're pulling from all three.
Correct.
It's called a tri-merge credit report. We're pulling 3 different credit scores for you. So if you go to a jeweler, which often you'll ask them, who do you report to? I walked into one the other day to see who they report to. They only report to one credit bureau. We're looking at all 3, whereas a secured credit card from a bank, a financial institution, that ask them, who do you report to and how often as well? Are they reporting monthly? Is it reported to all 3 credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian? Those are the 3 that we pull from. And I know that BBVA Compass does a secured card, and they do report monthly to all 3 bureaus. So that's just a shout out, I guess, for them. But I know that it's going to report. We need it to report, and we need it to go to all 3, so it's going to help the credit as much as possible. And you can be financially responsible with the credit. If you're like, I know I need to establish credit, but I know I'm horrible with it. I just want to spend money, even if it's not mine or is mine. I don't care. I'm just uncontrollable spending habits. Then get the credit, charge on it, and do some amount. Give somebody else the card so you can't use it, but at least it will help you establish your credit. So if you're going to purchase a home and you're not going to use cash, you do need credit. And if you've messed up in the past, don't worry about it. Don't look back, look forward. Take steps to get it better, because you can. It might take some time, but I like to say we either say yes or
not right now.
Not right now.
But it can happen.
It's not really a no. That's the beauty of it.
All clients are great clients. Some are ready now. Some we want to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining me for
Absolutely.
the inaugural
Always
show
a good time.
of True Talk with Christina. Thank you guys for watching live, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope. If you would like information, or if you would like to be a guest, if you offer a service for people in financial industry, real estate, mortgage with their homes, send me a message on Facebook. You can comment on the show. That way you can give me a call or text me at 209-425-4229, and I'll repeat that number for you, 209-425-4229, and let's talk about the truth. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Have a great week.
Bye.